call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Ahrens? Here. Cammer? Here. Carbonaro?
Here.
Daney?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Ranky? Here. President Wallace?
Here. The only item we have this evening on our committee of the whole is under Finance and Golf. Chairman Daney.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The proposed capital budget is what we have to discuss, and I am going to ask Todd if he'd be so kind to give us a little background and discuss this.
Thank you, Trustee Daney. As has been our policy with the capital budget, as you know, we go through the big projects in the fall that loosens up our ability in the spring to really focus on our operating budget. So what we do is go through all the new projects first, and then if there's questions about the rest of the projects, which you've already seen, we can go back to those as well. So I'm going to walk you through the new projects in here and have a discussion about each of them. And the first one, Great. The first one is on page 26, and that is the Country Place lift station upgrade. It's
I'm sorry, what tab are you on?
Well, it's under sewer, but all the pages are in order anyhow. So it's page 26, sewer.
Everyone's on that page.
Or we've got it up here if you could see.
The Country Place lift station. If you'll recall, we did Country Creek lift station this past year. This is basically an identical project. Although this one's not as deep, it's about 20 or 25 feet deep. The other one was 40. It's a dry pit station, so the guys have to go down into that pit to be able to maintain. What we're proposing is to remove that situation, put in submersible pumps, bring the controls up top, and avoid having to go down into that confined space. So the Country Creek was very successful, and we're proposing to do the same thing on this.
Moving on then to page 28, still in the sewer division, we have a variety of upgrades to our treatment plant.
Right. In the capital budget, you'll see throughout the years many capital improvements down at the Bittersweet plant. It's 40 years old, in need of some improvements, and this one's proposed towards the end, 2021. And what it entails is replacement of the underground electric, the lighting, the non-potable water system, all those things that have been in the ground, and we're starting to see failures in the electric system, and the lights aren't working and that type of stuff. So it's due to kind of get modernized, if you will.
As Dan said, that's in the 2021 fiscal year budget, and we are anticipating utilizing the EPA loans to fund this. Next project is in streets, page 41, and that's the long-awaited Rizika Field parking lot improvements.
41. Right. Essentially, this one will be the gravel lot. We would be looking at putting in curb and gutter and paving it. This cost includes what we will call best management practices for stormwater management that would entail cleaning the water. We do not believe we will need detention, but we need to go through that process to make sure. The costs do not include detention, so we're hoping that we do not have to include detention, because ComEd has already said they would not allow detention within their right-of-way. The only real other option is the ball fields, which means you're doing underground, which you can probably double that cost, if not more. So we're fairly confident that we will not have to do stormwater detention. We'll only have to do the cleaning of the water portion, which is good. The other thing that we found out through IDOT is we can use MFT funds to build this lot, so that's what we're proposing to do with it. And this does not include lighting for the parking lot, mainly because it is near houses, and we thought that we would end up having more complaints about having the lights shining than if we did have the lights or not.
This is such a vast improvement, and we've been looking at ways to fix up that lot for years. And our biggest hurdle was Commonwealth Edison, who did not want us to do any permanent paving on it. And they softened up over the years and gave us the approval. Then we had the drainage issue, and Dan was able to come up with some creative way to accomplish that. So this gets a lot of use, and it's in terrible shape. And I think this is going to be a huge improvement, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Is it,
What do we use this lot for?
It's baseball and football.
Okay, so the village itself does not,
No, we do not. We just own it.
but we've pledged to maintain that lot.
And it's
Well,
a mess.
actually, baseball and football do maintenance a lot of the fields. We don't do any maintenance of them. But this lot, I think you can say nobody's maintained it.
have we explored other options as far as surfacing goes? I mean, yes, it's been a gravel parking lot for as long as I've lived here, but so what? I mean, it's for baseball, it's for football, it's not something that's utilized. I mean, it's utilized. But we seem to have gotten by pretty well with it being a gravel parking lot for, all these years. I look at $673,000 to repave a parking lot for the, baseball and football. I mean, I'm much of a baseball and football fan for the kids as anything, but it's a lot of money. I'm just wondering if we looked into other options, like maybe tar and chipping instead of asphalt, or some other sort of ability, maybe a different type of gravel. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe there's something more reasonable that we could be doing in this particular instance other than putting a full blacktop pavement down.
Could we actually give it to the Park District?
No, it's village owned.
Could we sell it to them for $1?
They're not going to want to take this
No?
issue on either. Well,
If you would like us to look into that, we certainly can.
No. It's
$2. $2.
it's an
so
ongoing,
it'll cost
yeah, the MFT funds are what's going to fund this thing.
$202.
Yeah. I can tell you I've almost ruined an undercarriage of my car driving in and out of that lot. It's been so bad. It's
Must be a
terrible.
bad driver. I don't know.
Terrible.
Because of the rock and gravel, and then the rain, the rocks are getting washed away, and there's,
And it's constant maintenance.
yeah, okay, that's what we're looking at.
Are we, when you say we're getting complaints, are we getting off-site complaints? Are the neighbors complaining about the gravel, the runoff, things of that nature? Or is this only the people that use it?
I would say the majority of the complaints are from the people who use it, or the cars that are parked there and shouldn't be there, and we run those out of there, and no, that would be accurate. It is more for the people who are utilizing it, because, after a time, they're just constant potholes and in terrible shape.
Massive potholes.
This sounds like the kind of thing that one of our big businesses in Brewster Creek would love to sponsor with us. So maybe we could explore a public-private partnership. Maybe reach out to those folks and have a nice sign someplace.
Mm-hmm. We certainly,
a
if the
great
board directs,
opportunity.
we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Even if we shave off half of that almost $700,000, we could put that money, that MFT, in the roads. So
Yeah.
it would be a good thing.
I can tell you one of the things that really has bothered me over the years is when the surrounding towns come to Bartlett and they pull into this lot that's representative of Bartlett and practically ruin their car. It's very embarrassing for Bartlett to have Glen Ellen and Carroll Stream and all of these towns coming in and from all over the place, and they're pulling into this lot where they're practically getting their car undercarriage ripped out. It's bad.
So 10 years from now, let's put it at 20, and we have to repair or replace this new asphalt. Are we going to be able to use, assuming that the MFT funds are even around at that time. Would we be able to use MFT funds to repair and replace? So my question goes to the legacy costs.
Yes,
Yeah.
you should be able to.
So theoretically, we should be able to pay with the MFT funds going forward.
Well, you know, we do have to consider that we do maintain the parking lots for all the other Kohler fields, maintain those, and the other ones. So you know, in thinking this over, I think we should just go ahead with the project. And I agree with you too, Kevin, that people drive into that lot town and think badly of the village of Bartlett. And at this time, since we've been maintaining the parking lot all these years, how long has Ruzika been there? 20, 25 years?
It's been long.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been longer than that. It's actually been 35 years. He started using it as a field.
Wow, that's before you and me.
Well, not me, but yeah.
Anyway, this would be, I think, the wrong time to pull the rug out on this project.
I think we should definitely go through with it, but as Trustee Kammerer mentioned, are there other alternatives besides asphalt?
Why don't you give us an opportunity to do that?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And I just got to say as a side note to that, it's just a matter of time before some child gets ran over on that lot, because you're doing six-way turns trying to get out of there. There are people crammed in there. Kids are running through the lot. It's not a very safe place,
No, it's not. Thank you.
and it's progressively worse.
I think
Uh,
next few years, I'm going to find out what that's all about.
Yes, you will. Okay.
The next item that is new to this proposed budget is in the Streets Department on page 43, and that is Schick-Petersdorf resurfacing.
Right. We made application to the DuPage mayors and managers under their STP funding. So we're hoping to be able to get that funded, and would plan on doing that in the fiscal year 18-19. It's essentially grind and overlay of those roads and spot curb and gutter repairs.
These are the LAP funds that we were able to get several to use down in DuPage County and haven't had qualified for any in some time, and now we have a couple of different roads that do qualify for that grant. The next new project is on page 45. Again, it's
can I
one
interrupt
of
for just a
the
second?
grants from DuPage, and it is Schick-Struckman Bridge Rehab.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt for just a second?
Sure.
This conversation came up at a different location with considering Wayne Township. Petersdorf does that belong to the village of Bartlett?
Petersdorf is Bartlett, yes. And Schick from Petersdorf east to just past the bridge is also the Bartletts. But
That's the cutoff right there at the corner.
yeah, to the west of Petersdorf, Schick is Wayne Township.
And to the north,
Thank you.
across the street, yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Page 45 is the bridge repair.
What this is we have to have our bridges inspected by structural engineers. They go through and do their inspections and come up with any repairs that would be necessary. This would, based on the inspections, these are the repairs that are necessary at the three bridges that we maintain.
Thank you. The next new project is page 47, still in the streets, and this is North Avenue resurfacing that we're proposing for 1920.
Similar to the Schick and Petersdorf, we've applied for, with the Northwest Municipal Conference, the same type of resurfacing funds. We're proposing North Avenue. We are actually doing this with Streamwood because they are working on their portion to the east of Prospect. So it's kind of a joint project. Hopefully that scores higher and we can get that funding and get that road resurfaced.
And it's great to be able to get some funds out of the Northwest Municipal Conference. We haven't had a lot of area or projects that would qualify, so really pleased to be able to access this funding for a change.
A quick note about this. I use North Avenue quite a bit. Is there a way that we could contact Streamwood? I know a lot of pedestrians walk on North Avenue. Obviously, it's in the Streamwood portion up to, Route 20. Is there a way we can find out if they're putting a bike path in or some sort of sidewalk?
Yeah, we could. I believe they're redoing the whole signal at 20 and North. I don't know if it includes that, but we can definitely ask them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
As part of this, are we contemplating any traffic calming measures? I know it's something that Trustee Kammerer mentioned a while ago. If Terry Witt was here, he'd mention it.
As a matter of fact, we have the whole issue of traffic coming. I think we just reviewed the agendas today and intend to look at it from a number of different aspects. Certainly the Complete Streets program provides some of it, but there are some calming efforts that more traditional ones that we can take a look at. Obviously, the bike path group is looking at kind of a roundabout on South Bartlett and Schick, and that's a great traffic calming, an expensive traffic calming thing, but something that's in their report. Also, in terms of street narrowing in certain areas is a traffic calming issue that is sometimes used. So we wanted to start the whole discussion on traffic calming by looking at the whole playbook of what's available and how it's worked.
Thank you.
We're all ready.
The last new project is on page 64 in other. It's at the end of the proposed budget, and that is the police building. And I don't know if, Chief, you have any comments or if the board has any questions showing the schematic that we have looked at and the numbers that you are familiar with. All right, those are the new projects. We have continuing projects for next year. We have 17 of them, and I'm happy to go through them or happy not to go through them as you would like it.
I'm not, I've looked through it, so we've been through them once already.
Okay.
Not in my opinion, but if anybody would like.
You've seen them before. There's nothing new in there. I just want to remind you of that.
Fine. Thank you, Madam Administrator.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before we adjourn, I wouldn't mind recognizing our new Deputy Chief Snyder, who's here this evening. Congratulations, Deputy Chief Snyder. Had the privilege of, because somebody had a bad cough, Deputy Chief Snyder and I had the privilege of doing a DARE graduation together already. So, I think you might have a pretty tough act to follow in the next one, Chief.
I think also Valerie received some kind of award Friday night. What was it?
Yeah.
She did it, Arts and Bartlett, and I was
Arts and,
happy,
what was
happy to be there.
our own Valerie Salmon?
It was lovely, and I was thanking Trustee Kammerer for being there and waiting for, it was a little bit of a rain delay when things were going on, but I received a lovely piece of blown glass that was made by one of their artists, and it was a great thing. Thank you.
Very nice.
Well deserved.
No cake, though. No cake.
No cake.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Aaron's. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
Kammerer,
Yes.
Carbonaro,
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Hopkins. Yes. Rinky.
We are adjourned.